Every single morning, your robin comes back to the exact same branch in your garden to sing. You have probably heard this beautiful melody countless times before while drinking your coffee. But there is a very secret meaning hidden deep within that familiar European robin song. It is certainly not just a random tune echoing mindlessly across the cold morning mist. And it is definitely not singing for anyone else who might be walking by your house. This tiny, fragile creature, with its burnt orange chest, has made a very deliberate choice. It has carefully memorized the exact rhythm of your life and your entire daily routine. This is the fascinating truth about what those morning bird sounds actually mean for you. To truly understand its beautiful voice, you must first understand the loud world it lives in. The modern human environment is constantly filled with a very heavy and invisible acoustic burden. There is almost always the constant low hum of distant traffic vibrating through the ground. There are the heavy engines of cars constantly passing by your street every single day. These very low frequencies roll across your peaceful garden just like an unseen heavy fog. They completely blanket the delicate nature sounds birds usually rely on to communicate with others. For such an incredibly small creature, this vast ocean of human noise is completely overwhelming. Most animal voices simply get lost and swallowed by the constant roar of the human world. But your brave little robin absolutely refuses to be silenced by the chaos around it. It has developed a remarkable kind of bird psychology to completely overcome this acoustic barrier. It listens very carefully to the heavy frequencies vibrating through the leaves of the trees, and then it makes a very brilliant conscious decision to physically change its own voice. Your robin actively raises the pitch of its song to cut directly through the noise. It sings much higher and sharper, intentionally forcing its delicate voice above the mechanical rumble. This is not a generic melody, inherited from its ancient ancestors in the deep woods. It is a highly customized frequency, tuned specifically for the background hum of your neighborhood. The beautiful song you hear every single morning is an acoustic masterpiece of physical adaptation. It is desperately trying to ensure its important voice is heard above the modern world. When you step outside with your morning coffee, it is literally singing just for you. It desperately wants its message to reach you, piercing clearly through the heavy morning air. This incredible effort takes immense physical focus from such a tiny and fragile little bird. But it truly knows that being heard in this garden is a strict matter of survival. The much higher notes are a wonderful testament to its resilience and its sharp intelligence. Your robin has quite literally reshaped its natural voice to fit perfectly into your life. That high-pitched melody is a beautiful bridge built between its wild world and yours. Listen very closely to the trees the next time the neighborhood becomes particularly loud and busy. You will quickly notice that your intelligent robin does not ever rush its spoken words. When the environment is noisy, it completely changes the very structure of its musical song. It begins to sing much fewer syllables, but it holds on to each note much longer. It is exactly like someone speaking slowly and very clearly across a crowded, noisy room. It beautifully stretches out the melody, ensuring that every single sound lands perfectly and clearly. Other typical British garden birds might panic and sing frantically in the middle of the noise. But your special robin shows an incredible level of emotional patience and absolute vocal control. It very carefully paces its musical words, stubbornly refusing to let them be completely drowned out. It wants to make absolutely sure that you do not ever miss its urgent message. Each beautifully long and drawn-out note is a calculated effort to maintain its presence. It is constantly telling you that it is still here, despite the heavy chaos around it. The slowly drawn-out syllables carry an incredibly deep sense of pure determination and focus. It is certainly not just making a pleasant noise to simply fill the morning silence. It is actively holding a deep conversation, and it strictly demands to be properly understood. You might simply think it is just a common bird singing its usual happy tune, but you are actually witnessing a brilliant natural strategy of pure survival and emotional connection. It bravely extends its voice like a warm hand reaching out through the thick air. The much longer notes resonate deeper, lingering in the peaceful garden just a little longer. This extremely careful timing proves how incredibly well it understands the complex acoustics of your home. It knows exactly how long a single note must last to overcome a passing car. It is a masterful composer, constantly adjusting its perfect tempo to the rhythm of the street. Your dedicated little robin is speaking directly to you with deliberate and highly measured intention. It clearly values its territory way too much to let its beautiful voice be swept away. Every elongated musical note is a strong reminder of its claim on this small patch of earth. There is another fascinating secret hidden in the way your robin behaves around loud noise. It has spent many long months quietly observing the daily routines of your busy household. It knows exactly when the loud mechanical lawnmower will be pulled from the wooden shed. It knows the familiar sound of your front door slamming shut in the early morning. Instead of reacting with blind fear or aggression like birds in the deep wild forest, your clever robin has learned to simply sit out the sudden heavy bursts of noise. When a loud engine suddenly roars to life, it immediately stops singing and patiently waits. It perches silently on the wooden fence, its dark round eyes watching the loud commotion. This shows an astonishing level of intelligent adaptation among friendly wild birds in garden environments. It never wastes its precious energy fighting an unwinnable battle against a loud human machine. It has perfectly memorized all the heavy mechanical rhythms of your busy modern human existence. It knows that the deafening noise is only temporary, and peaceful silence will eventually return. So it waits very patiently, holding its beautiful song in its chest until the air clears. The very moment the loud engine stops and the garden can finally breathe peacefully again, your robin immediately resumes its sweet melody exactly where it left off a moment ago. This is definitely not just natural instinct. It is a learned behavior unique to urban survival. It has remarkably adapted its entire communication style to fit perfectly around your busy schedule. It respects the loud, chaotic moments of your day, but happily reclaims the quiet ones. You and the little robin are sharing this space in a delicate and unspoken dance. It absolutely knows when to be silent, and it perfectly knows when it is safe to speak. This profound level of understanding requires a deep and almost intimate observation of your life. It has watched you long enough to predict exactly when the noise will rise and fall. Your backyard garden is its entire universe, and it clearly knows every rule of this world. The incredible patience it shows is a very quiet testament to its high emotional intelligence. It is always patiently waiting for the absolute perfect moment to resume its connection with you. Sometimes the busy daylight hours in your neighborhood are simply far too loud and overwhelming. The constant chaotic hum of human activity leaves absolutely no room for a small, gentle voice. When the daytime is completely stolen by noise, your robin makes a very profound choice. It drastically shifts its entire biological schedule and literally becomes a creature of the night. Long after you have finally turned off the bedroom lights and gone to deep sleep, your dedicated robin stays wide awake, bathed softly in the warm glow of a street lamp. In the quiet dead of night, the heavy, suffocating blanket of urban noise finally lifts. The night air quickly becomes beautifully crisp, wonderfully cold, and perfectly completely and wonderfully silent. This is exactly when your robin finally opens its tiny beak and lets its song fly. When it sings out loud in the dark, the musical notes travel further and sound clearer. It is carefully choosing the most peaceful hours to fill your garden with its lovely voice. While the rest of the tired world rests, it bravely stands guard over its precious territory. The midnight nocturnal song is incredibly lonely, yet it is also deeply and hauntingly beautiful. It is singing to an entirely empty garden, but the emotional message remains exactly the same. Even when you absolutely cannot see it, even when you are peacefully lost in happy dreams, your robin is bravely out there, declaring its strong presence in the absolute quietest hours. It cleverly uses the artificial light from your window to guide its solitary midnight vigil. It stubbornly refuses to surrender its beautiful voice entirely to the harsh chaos of the day. If it must stay wide awake just to be heard, it will gladly pay that heavy price. The dark night becomes its private sanctuary, a wonderful blank canvas for its sweet melody. This incredible dedication is a very powerful reminder of how much this small territory truly means. It will gladly alter its very biology, shifting its sleep just to sing its special song. Your quiet garden is warmly enveloped in its voice while you sleep so peacefully inside. It is an amazing, unseen protector, leaving a trail of beautiful notes in the midnight air. The thick darkness absolutely cannot hide the pure, loving intention behind its nocturnal midnight melody. You really must understand the immense and heavy physical toll this takes on the tiny bird. Singing is definitely not a effortless fun hobby. It is a massive and dangerous drain of energy. When your little robin sings at dawn, it has just barely survived a long and freezing night. Its tiny, fragile stomach is completely empty, and its vital fat reserves are almost completely depleted. Yet, instead of immediately searching the ground for a desperate meal to stay alive and warm, it proudly flies to the highest branch and pours its remaining precious energy into a song. This is truly the ultimate beautiful display of raw strength and vital wild survival instinct. It is loudly proving to every single other bird that it successfully survived the freezing darkness. It is proudly showing that it is strong enough to sing loudly, even when it is starving. Every single musical note it produces is a very heavy tax on its fragile little body. But it very gladly pays this terrible price to maintain its firm hold on your garden. The beautiful morning song is a very fierce declaration of absolute ownership and deep emotional belonging. It is literally spending its precious life force to protect the peaceful sanctuary it has chosen. Your special robin is definitely not just providing a peaceful soundtrack for your early morning coffee. It is bravely fighting an invisible and desperate war for survival with every tiny breath it takes. The incredible beauty of the melody perfectly hides the truly desperate reality of its fragile existence. It willingly gives absolutely everything it has to ensure this lovely garden remains its permanent home. When you carefully hear that song, you are deeply listening to pure and completely unfiltered resilience. It is a solemn promise that it will fiercely defend this territory until its very last breath. Your wonderful garden is truly worth all the painful hunger, the freezing cold, and the deep exhaustion. The brave robin trusts this human space enough to pour its entire soul into defending it. It has specifically chosen you, and it will proudly sing until there is absolutely nothing left. That incredibly familiar melody is just the beautiful sound of a tiny heart refusing to give up. It is a truly unbreakable emotional bond, forged in the quiet, cold hours of the early morning. And it will surely return to that exact same branch tomorrow morning to do it all again. Your beautiful garden is not just a patch of grass. It is a very carefully guarded kingdom. And the wonderful voice you hear is the brave king, speaking directly to you right now. If this amazing little robin sounds incredibly familiar to you in your own lovely garden, and if this emotional story feels exactly like yours and touches your warm heart, then I warmly invite you to subscribe to the Robin Files, a new story every week